are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
This is Shut Up and Get a Customer here on KLRN Radio. Sales insights for those looking for an unreasonable amount of success. Featuring Dan Jordan, the sales energizer. Online at remedysalesmatch.com. Dan Jordan's advice, shut up and get a customer. Find out more at remedysalesmatch.com.
Well, hello and welcome to another edition of Shut Up and Get a Customer with me, the Deej, the sales energizer. Just remember, this show is for individuals, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs who want an unreasonable amount of success in their business careers and life. Remember, wealth, fame, and good fortune is at your beck and call if you simply focus on one thing every day. Just one thing. Just get yourself a customer. So listen and learn how now. How's that, Tim?
Awesome. Thank you, Dan.
This is my man, Tim. You know why he's here, Marquis?
No, I have no idea.
By the way, is it Marquis or Marquise?
It is Marquis.
Really?
Yes.
But why didn't you correct me?
Well, I kind of gotten used to it over the years.
Everybody calls you Marquise.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, that's crazy.
I've been called Marcus, everything. So
Marcus?
Yeah. Trust me.
Tim, have you ever been called Marcus?
Never been called
I've
Marcus,
never been
Dan.
called. I've never.
You two have two common names, Dan and Tim.
That's right. Well, it's the Deej, actually.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, somebody asked me out there, why do you call yourself the Deej? And I think it happened, it's Dan Jordan, obviously, but it turned to DJ in high school because there was another kid, Danny Diano, who was more popular than me.
And he was the Dan.
And so he kept his name, so I got DJ, and then DJ just turned to the Deej. But what I found is the Deej is like an alter ego. Like the Deej is on now, right? Because the Deej can do things that Dan Jordan could never do.
Superman and Clark Kent.
Yeah. What you got to do. You got to turn it on. And it's true. It's in sales, that's the whole thing. When you walk out the door, baby, it's game time.
It is. Game on. I agree.
That's how you have to do. When do you get started in the morning? Well, actually, let me start with the quote because it's going to work. By the way, I'm only using Jim Rohn quotes.
Oh.
Yeah, because, he is just the master. Just listen to Jim. You know who loves Jim Rohn?
Who loves Jim Rohn?
Stu Shapiro. Stu Shapiro's got me on Jim Rohn. He listens to it every morning. But here's the best quote. You know how he defined success?
I do not.
All right. You see, you're good. You're like,
very prompting.
Marquis, he's better than you.
Hey, clones. Hey, clones.
He said success is defined as simple little disciplines practiced every day.
Great definition, Dan. I would agree with that.
And that's all it is. And it's not big things. It's not the $1 million idea every day. It's simple little disciplines. And the other thing is every day. It's not like you're going to go to a seminar and learn how to sail. Yeah, you're not going to learn how to sail a boat in a seminar. See, like, how's that for a good catch? I screwed up terribly.
Outstanding.
And then brought it right back. Yeah, you got to practice this stuff. Practice, drill, and rehearse every day. What are some, so Tim, let me tell you how I met Tim. How did I meet Tim?
Uh-oh.
Vistage.
You guys know about Vistage?
Business Leadership Group.
No, I don't.
Vistage is a business leadership group that you go and you spend time with other people in your same type of economic ability there in that business network. And you talk about the problems that you have and the challenge that you have right there, and people come up with the same solutions. It's awesome. So we met there.
We did.
And he called me, or I called him afterwards, and he really wanted to get together. Why? Because I had an absolutely killer elevator pitch.
He did.
Isn't that good? He got all excited. You always know salespeople because they get excited by stuff like that.
Yeah, when he walked in the room, I was a little bit turned off because he's so exuberant about what he does and so excited about what he does. But once I got to know him, fell in love with him, like so many other people do.
You see, but that's true thing. A lot of times I meet people, and but they tell you, some people in the sales programs, they tell you, act like find out what the other person's doing, model yourself after that. If they nod, you nod, and all that. Yeah, bunch of garbage. Because you forget.
You do.
And you got to be yourself. And so you have to come into each situation knowing this. About a third of the people aren't going to like you.
Probably true.
But who do you wind up doing business with? The 2/3 that do. Because the only thing you can change is yourself. The only attitude you have is yours, right? So if you bring in there and someone doesn't dig it, that's fine. There's a whole world out there. Yeah. And that's how we have to go, Marquis. You're nodding at me, but you're not saying anything.
I'm just saying that's the approach I used to use for dating.
Well, that's a big sale right there.
Well, we talked about this last show.
Yeah, that's it. All right, you keep me on track. Otherwise, I'll just keep repeating myself. I'm like a babbling fool. So, Tim, my friend, I want to talk about this. This is important. The disciplines. The successful people do one thing. They do many things, but they all do this one thing. Every person I've ever met that's really been successful do have this one little habit. They wake up early.
I agree.
They wake up before, and when I say early, I mean before 6 a.m.
Yep.
What time did you get up this morning, Tim?
5 a.m.
Did you really?
Yes, without pause.
Tell me, what do you mean without pause?
Never pause. I just get up and do my thing.
You just get up and roll. So your eyes open, you're out of bed.
Go work out and get my body moving.
Yeah, have you always done that?
For the last 8 years.
Really?
Yes.
Was it a conscious effort at the beginning?
I spent some time in some different sales seminars. Kind of grew up on the Dale Carnegie series. Learned a lot from Anthony Robbins, and now learning everything I could ever need to know from Dan Jordan.
Yeah, well, I know. You and everyone else. Go to RemedySalesMatch.com. Go to the products page, RemedySalesMatch.com. But no, well, you know what? It's not like anything's new and's been invented out there. It's all there. The difference is some people apply and some people don't. But that's the one thing. If you had to make one change, I'm talking to everybody out there who wants it, not just in your sales life, but in your life. I'm a firm believer that the practice of sales is the practice of personal development. And I'll probably say that a million times. But it's true.
I would agree.
If you get up early at 5 a.m., you're just not late for things.
Yeah, our entire team pretty much focuses on a plan the night before. The last thing we talk about is having our plan for the following day ready. And that's what we kind of lead the sales force within our company.
Absolutely. And then when you wake up, you don't have to think.
No.
You're done. You already have your plan, and you're ready to roll.
It's ready to roll.
And you know what else you find? No traffic.
Yes.
People get stuck. If you leave an hour earlier, there's no traffic. You hear people complain about traffic, you giggle at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll ruin your day some days if you let it. Traffic.
Yes. Well, you've been very successful in your world with your business, and we're going to find out about it on the next segment. But during the break, and actually right now, let me ask you, what other little simple disciplines do you practice every day that's brought you to the level where you are?
This may not be a favorable thing to say this day and age with millennials out there, but without fail, we make 20 cold calls every day. That's just a simple thing. We make 20 cold calls.
Well, how do you, I love this guy. How do you define a cold call?
Well, we should probably term them more warm calls. We subscribe to some lead sources that we use, or social media clicks in and gives us leads off of our website, and we're following up with those folks to see what their pain might be relative to business transition, relocation, or upgrading their space.
Well, we're going to get into that on the next segment even more deeply. If you have any questions or want to get a hold of me, there's this thing on Facebook, and go to my website, RemedySalesMatch.com, RemedySalesMatch.com, and book some time with me. We'll see you on the next segment.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
My friends, you are listening to the Sales Energizer, Dan Jordan. Head to danjordan.com, DANJOURDAN, for a free sales kit, but only if you want an unreasonable amount of success. danjordan.com. Now, back to the program. Here's your host, Dan Jordan.
And we are back with another episode of Shut Up and Get a Customer. With Tim over here, McCormick, not like the spice,
no.
McCormack. Right.
Scotch Irish, correct.
By the way, we didn't talk about last week, Marquis. We killed it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
I mean,
had fun.
It was good. What I found out is, because I listened to, the way I can tell that it was a mildly good show is that on Saturday morning, by the way, if you want to watch this thing or listen to this thing, it's on Saturday mornings at 7:30 a.m., on Biz 1190 AM here in Atlanta, but you'll get it on SoundCloud. But it's 7:30 AM, prime time. In other words, prime time.
Yeah, prime time.
Yeah, I mean everybody's
up, ripping and running to the park, pools, and.
So I woke up my wife to listen to the show, and she couldn't get it on the radio. It was like the last minute. I'm like, hurry up! And so anyway, she runs into her car. So she's sitting in her car at 7:30.
Sweet.
And listening to it. And I went out to walk the dog. Do you know she listened to the whole thing?
Did she enjoy it?
Yeah, I think. Well, she listened to the whole thing, which was good. But she gave me some critiques. So first, Stu Shapiro gave me some critiques, and his critiques were, "You're a fake with your enthusiasm," because that's how because people don't believe that this is real. But this is the Deej.
Yeah,
right.
I know it's real.
Right. So that's it. So Stu's a big liar, and then my wife said that I say this a lot. What do I say a lot? Oh, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
I've said that, and so I'm making a conscious effort not to say that, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Yes, because it sounds like an award that you give to a kid in kindergarten.
Right.
This goes to little Timmy for crying out loud. Give him a round of applause. I've had that joke since high school, and it's never worked, and I still try it. I got another one that sometimes you kind of massage and you try your hardest, and they're just not funny.
Yeah, we have those too. For crying out loud, kind of dates you, doesn't it? I mean, that's like an older saying.
Yeah,
my wife.
Mind your own business.
Yeah,
mind your own beeswax.
Yeah, beeswax is really old.
That's really dating yourself.
People do that stuff. But you talked about millennials before. As if they're not humans.
It's an interesting demographic.
You said just like the, this isn't something that's be popular with the millennials. Like they don't have to come. I have a theory on millennials.
Okay,
they're almost like real people,
right?
And so there's no need to change your whole life for them. Eventually, they're going to grow up. They're going to get married. They're going to start families, and they're going to live a decent life.
Agreed. However, we have a millennial daughter, and I want to bring that up. And because the furniture business is so, how should I say it, so concerned about taking care of the millennial in the workplace, it's a very interesting topic for our company.
You should talk about your business. And the reason why I haven't been bringing it up so much is because no one cares. But,
of course not. Who cares about business furniture?
No, but what I want you to do is you're going to talk about it and just say, what's the name of your company?
Business Transition 360.
And what's the benefit to your client?
We handle and manage all things business transition related. Meaning,
right, but how does that help them?
Well, if a lot of companies, when they're in transition, they don't understand what's going to happen. There's going to be about 450 individual tasks related to a business relocation. So when companies are thinking, hey, I want to get from point A to point B with going into a new space, literally over 26 years of doing this, we've clocked about 450 different individual tasks that one person usually has to be prepared to handle.
I'm nauseous.
It's nauseous.
450 tasks.
At least.
All right, so if you're nauseous about anything that has to do with moving, you need to call Tim at, what's your name of your company again?
Business Transition 360.
Yes, and what we're going to do, so now everybody knows, in the spirit of complete and utter honesty, which is the only way to be a salesperson, make that so they could see either you or me.
Okay,
there we go. The idea is, what Tim's going to do right now is take that clip that he just said about his company and talk about the problems and solutions that he can provide, and we're going to cut it up and send it out to everybody, because radio isn't radio anymore. Radio is just another way to build some content for you to get it out onto social media. Okay. And you as the salesperson, or you as the small business owner, need to know that. It's no longer, I'm going to buy 30 seconds and then see and pray. No, you create as much content as you can and get it out everywhere. So just like my daughter, who doesn't want to clean her room. I called the other day. She comes home, it's summertime. Nobody cleans anything. It's an absolute wreck.
We have the same challenge.
So I say, Sophie, before you do something, why didn't you clean that? She says, I don't want to. I don't want to. So what do I say as a parent? I say, who cares if you want to? You have to do it. So all you people out there that aren't involved in Facebook in this type of manner, or Twitter because you think it's the dumbest thing of all time, or Snapchat, or any of these social medias, or any of this kind of advertising, I don't care that you don't like it. I don't care that you don't want to do it. All you have to do is create content and then just press go. I was almost going to say, for crying out loud, it's almost free.
Almost. Almost.
So just do it. And that's the whole idea. And that's why I'm doing this radio show, to create the content. And that's why a friend of the show here, Tim, is getting involved as well to do this. So this is supposed to be more of a learning and a teaching and a training moment for everybody out there. No more excuses. You got to get out there and make a fool out of yourself. It's time.
I would agree.
It's not. Oh, here's a good one. If you're driving, pull over and write this one down. All right, I'll give you time. Ready? It's not who you know. It's who knows you. My dad, when he first came over to this country, and he was trying to teach me he was here at the country many years by the time he told me this, but he said, Danny, in this country, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And then I grew up a little more, and he said, Danny, forget about that. He said this one. If you're still pulled over, you might want to write this one down. He said, Danny, you become the person that people want to know. Then they just come to you. That's good stuff.
It's great stuff. Considering that we moved to Atlanta about 8 years ago and knew no one, and have built our company fairly successfully, in our view, based on social media, content management, doing the things that you're talking about doing. That stuff works.
Right. And how much are you going to do this year in gross revenues?
We're a small business. We'll probably do over $3 million, and we started the company about 4 years ago.
4 years, $3 million from someone who knew no one. You got no excuses out there.
None.
No. Stu Shapiro? Who else is there that I can make fun of?
Stu Shapiro. Georgie Andrade? Danny, you're the same since...
Oh, my gosh. Jorge Andrade.
Chris Boyce?
Chris Boyce is a troublemaker, but his wife is a photographer, and she's awesome. Takes good pictures. And we're going to find out about what you need to do to hire that awesome salesperson that's going to help you dominate your marketplace. Go to RemedySalesMatch.com. We'll see you after the break.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
And we're back. They still have us here, Tim, for another segment here of the Shut Up and Get a Customer show. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it. It's been great. It seems like time is just flying by.
Literally flying by. Time flying by. This was Memorial Day weekend this past weekend.
It was.
Did you do anything? Did you go anywhere?
Took the family to a softball tournament. My daughter plays softball. So we were at a softball tournament.
How old is she?
She's 12.
12?
Yes. Dylan McCormack.
Oh, yeah?
How Irish can you get?
You want to say your wife's name, too?
Cassie McCormack.
Cassie McCormack.
She wasn't Irish. She was German.
She was German.
But she's a wonderful, beautiful woman.
Is she?
I'm very fortunate.
Yes, you are.
She runs the other half of the company, so.
And is she involved in the company?
She's the president of the company.
And how does that work? This is important. A lot of people have small business like this. How do you deal with that at home? Do you shut it off?
We do for the most part. We're blessed. I mean, we do have about a 7 o'clock. We're done. No more business until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Yeah. But it can be difficult.
At the beginning of my career, my first couple businesses, my wife was involved with the books and all that stuff, and she would just do nothing that I said. I mean, she's great. I mean, just absolutely perfect. I couldn't. Just this morning, I had this conversation with her. I could not have done better. The best thing that ever happened to me, really. Not just her, but her family. Yeah. The whole thing. But that woman will, if I say, hold it in your right hand, she'll do the left.
Well, the blessing for us has been that.
And she's a righty.
Right. Yeah. Well, see, Cassie came from the facilities industry. She came from Trammell Crow. So the fit was a match made in heaven in more ways than one. I came from relocation. She came from facilities. We started the furniture dealership about 4.5 years ago. So we both knew furniture fairly well before we got into it.
And moving.
Spent 23 years in the relocation industry.
You might have to tell us the secret to how you guys rip everybody off. Those moving sales, were you successful?
I was very successful.
Oh, he was ripping people off.
I believe I was. I mean, it depends on your definition of success. So I did okay.
You killed it. That's good. But the biggest sales you make is with your daughter, your 12-year-old. How do you keep that thing happy?
It's an ongoing challenge. But she's probably the best negotiator I've ever met.
Absolutely.
You know how they are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's inherent in them.
And they're just so cute. We were this weekend. I was just thinking about because she's actually camping today. She's she's going into high school, and so before high school, they have this little get together with the other new high school people because it's going to a different school, and they're going camping for a couple of days, which is great. And so we were just talking about it when she was little. And funny story, we were just reminded by this. She was using the remote control on the TV, and she was young, maybe 6 or something, and. She's pressing, she's a righty like this. And then she started practicing with her left hand. So she's changing the channels with her left hand. And she got good at it. And so with pride and joy, she looks at me and she goes, "Hey, Daddy, look, I'm bisexual."
Oh, my. That is funny.
I'm like, you're just so close. You're just almost there.
Right. So
that's what you're dealing with. They can say stuff like that to get anything they want.
They can.
Little girls. Okay. So how do you get your... You at the place where you're the moving salesman, you were the best salesperson there.
I started out as a salesperson after college and then went into management.
How did you get good?
I got good by back in the day. We made a lot of cold calls. I mean, I knocked on a lot of doors, and I was very persistent and resilient at what I did. And
what do you do when people say no? We're not interested.
Like most quality salespeople, I saw that as getting closer to a yes. I was probably going to get, 30, 40, 50 no's before I got that yes. But that's the way I approached it early on.
Well, we just got a couple minutes here, but I want to get this on from you because I have some ideas. But you became a leader in that business, and you had to hire a lot of people. How did you hire the right salespeople? How did you find the right ones? What qualities did they hold?
Well, in that business, a lot of men and women would, there were a fair amount of men and women that you would want to pursue to join your company. We always looked at, certainly their disciplines, as you spoke, how they approached their day and what they did each day to get successful. We didn't look at we did look at income because typically we were going after high-level salespeople and high earners, but we had a lot of success in using some DISC-based personality test. We did a little bit of that.
You do the personality stuff.
We do a little bit. We did back in that role. That goes back about 8 years ago for me. But we also used a lot of interviewing techniques that we currently use in our company.
Well, let me tell you how we get the top 2% salespeople. We get rid of the 98%.
There you go.
I mean, that's what we do. And it's a very tough interview. I do things, and what you need to do is go to my website, remedysalesmatch.com, go to the product section, and I'll have something there for you. It's a 5-video set on how to properly interview people. It's very tough. It's brutal.
That's awesome.
But you weed everything out. And basically, everybody fails the interview. That's how you do it. What I want to do is I say, here, sell me, I'll do the whole sell me this pen, but I say, you got 1 minute. And I'm looking for certain things. I'm looking for you to close me. I'm looking for you to present it right. I'm looking for you to say, I know we only have 1 minute. I want to protect your time. Let me get right into it. I'm looking for the greeting and all that stuff. But everybody's going to fail. Yeah. And I'm going to say somewhere in that interview towards the end, I'm going to say these, I just don't see a top producer in you. And the people will 90% of the people will wilt away. 10% of the people will fight.
Right.
That's who I want.
Yep, absolutely.
I say, I don't hear a top producer. They say, you must be deaf. That's my guy.
Yeah.
I don't hear a top producer. Well, let me try again. I need someone who's going to fight. That person comes back for the second interview, and that person. Then we find out the inside and all that. But I don't want to waste time doing all those testing on things unless I got a fighter on my hand. Because in this day and age, when you need a customer, you got to get someone that's going to be willing to not only have the persistence to go after them, but willing to fight for themselves and fight for their sales. And in an interview like this, and I let them know on the front end, this is a sales call, baby.
Right. Agreed.
This is it. All right. Yep. Real quickly, we got about a minute. Tell us your company again, but more importantly, tell us your best client and why they're so happy using you. What do you give them that they don't get from other people?
I think what you'd learn if you called on some of our clients or our past clients is we're probably as responsive as any company out there, high integrity. We deliver well beyond what we tell them we're going to deliver. Our best clients are any companies with anywhere from 20 to, say, 100 employees that have a challenge of getting from one office to another office. Companies that might be struggling with seating, disability issues, people that need certain and specific type of seating. And
name of your company?
Business Transition 360.
Business Transition, and I can attest to his integrity 100%. And thank you so much for listening. We look forward to seeing you next time on Shut Up and Get a Customer.
My friends, if you are a business owner, you know the importance of shutting up and just getting a customer. And you can hear this advice right here on KLRN Radio every single Sunday at 2 p.m. Until next time, head to danjordan.com, danjourdan.com for a free sales kit that will lead you to an unreasonable amount of success.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Hey, KLRN Radio family, this is Joey Wensler of Wens World. Take a trip with me every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. An excursion to Wens World, where variety reigns.